You know, when we think of heroes from World War II, we picture soldiers, right? But some of the most unbelievable stories of courage, well, they've been buried for decades. Today, we're going to dig one up. It's the story of a soldier who, when everyone else was pinned down by enemy fire, just charged. This is the story of Chips, the dog who went to war. Okay, I want you to picture this. It's Sicily, July 1943. It's pitch black, before dawn. The air is just thick with gunpowder and sea spray. This is Operation Husky, the Allied invasion, and thousands of soldiers are hitting the beaches. But man, the resistance is absolutely brutal.
And for one American platoon, everything is ground to a halt. I mean, they are just trapped on the beach, sitting ducks. There's a hidden Italian machine gun nest somewhere in the darkness, and it's just tearing them apart. Every time someone moves, a hail of bullets. The situation looks hopeless. And then, something happens that no one could have predicted.
Out of nowhere, something just breaks from the American line, a blur of movement. But wait, that's not a soldier. It's a dog. A German Shepherd mix, totally on his own, breaks free from his handler and just bolts. And you won't believe where he's going. Straight for the enemy.
The soldiers just watch, completely stunned. I mean, what do you even do? This dog is charging right into the gunfire, right into the chaos. He disappears into the darkness of the pillbox where all those bullets are coming from. You have to be thinking, what on earth can one dog do? It's a suicide mission, plain and simple.
And then, silence. Just like that, the machine gun stops firing. That deafening roar of battle is just gone, replaced by this really tense, eerie quiet. The entire platoon, they're just holding their breath, waiting, wondering what just happened.
Here's what Private John Rowell, Chips' handler, said he saw next. Then I saw one soldier come out of the door with Chips at his throat. I called him off before he could kill the man. An enemy soldier stumbles out with the dog latched onto him. Then another comes out, and another, and another. 4 soldiers, all with their hands up, surrendering to a dog. This one animal just took out a machine gun nest and saved every single man on that beach.
So, the question is, who was this dog? I mean, this wasn't some super soldier animal bred for war, so where did he come from? And how in the world did he end up on a beach in Sicily, turning the tide of a battle all by himself?
Well, his name was Chips. And believe it or not, this war hero was just a regular family pet from Pleasantville, New York. He was a German Shepherd, Collie Husky mix. And his biggest enemy before the war? The local garbage man. Yeah, apparently he nipped him once. Just a year before all this chaos, he was just a slightly naughty pet living with the Wren family.
But then the war started, and this call went out for the Dogs for Defense program. They were asking American families to donate their pets to the war effort. Can you imagine that choice? The Wrens made the absolutely gut-wrenching decision to send Chips off, hoping he could help. And he did. He went to the War Dog Training Center in Virginia and was assigned to the 3rd Infantry Division. Just like that, he was a soldier.
And for what he did on that beach? Oh yeah, he got recognized. Big time. Chips was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, the Silver Star, and the Purple Heart because he was wounded in the attack. Think about that. He became the single most decorated dog of the entire Second World War, an absolute legend. But then, the story takes a turn. Almost as fast as he got them, the medals were taken away. Revoked. Why? Bureaucracy. A ruling came down that officially, you can't give military medals to animals. His bravery was real. Nobody denied that. But the rules were the rules.
Now, you might be thinking, wait a minute, what about Sergeant Stubby from World War I? And you'd be right. Stubby got medals. He even got promoted to sergeant. So what gives? Why was Chips's case so different? Well, it really comes down to how the military had changed between the wars. In World War I, things were more, let's say, informal. Local commanders could do things like that. But by World War II, the Canine Corps was an official part of the Army with strict, centralized rules. And one of those rules was no medals for animals. So in a really weird way, Chips was a victim of his own army becoming more organized.
And look, it is so important to understand that the Sicily thing, that wasn't a fluke. Chips was a seasoned veteran. Before he even got to that beach, he was on guard duty at the Casablanca Conference. That means he was personally guarding President Roosevelt and Winston Churchill. I mean, wow. He then went on to serve in 8 different campaigns across Europe. 8. He was finally honorably discharged and sent home in 1945.
And his service record has this one pretty legendary story. It involves a guy you might have heard of, General Dwight D. Eisenhower. Yeah, the future president. During a meet and greet, Ike reached down to pet Chips, and Chips nipped him right on the hand.
But Eisenhower, he wasn't even mad. He reportedly just said, "That's okay, I understand that's what you're trained to do." He got it. He knew Chips wasn't being mean or aggressive. He was being a soldier, a sentry dog doing his job protecting his handler from a stranger, even if that stranger happened to be the Supreme Allied Commander.
But for all the talk about battles and generals, the real heart of this story is the bond between Chips and his handler, Private John Rowell. They were more than a soldier and his dog. They were a team. They were inseparable. In the freezing trenches, they'd sleep together just to stay warm. Rowell said over and over that Chips saved his life more times than he could count.
After the war, Chips did get to go home to the Wren family, but his time in combat had taken its toll. He died only a year later from complications from his war injuries. And when Private Rowell got the news, he wrote a letter to the family. He was just heartbroken. He said, quite simply, that he had lost his best friend.
75. For 75 years, that's where Chips' story pretty much ended. A hero who was denied his medals, remembered only by the soldiers he fought alongside and the family that loved him so much. 3/4 of a century of his official story just being silent.
But then, in 2018, that silence was finally broken. Chips was posthumously awarded the Dickin Medal. Now, this medal comes from a British charity, and you need to understand this is a huge deal. It's basically the highest award for valor an animal can get anywhere in the world. People call it the animal equivalent of the Victoria Cross or the Medal of Honor.
So, with this one award, that 75-year-old injustice was finally made right. His own country's rulebook might have let him down, but the rest of the world, they remembered. As the head of the organization said, it has taken over 7 decades, but Chips can now finally take his place in the history books. His bravery was official.
So it really makes you think, doesn't it? What actually makes a hero? Is it the piece of metal they pin on your chest? Or is it something else? Is it about the choice, that split-second decision to run towards the danger when every instinct is screaming to run away, no matter if you're running on 2 legs or 4?